I'm Rantasmo, and superheroes need more gay. Everyone wants to be a superhero. Even if crime fighting doesn't interest you, no one can argue that it wouldn't be useful to have super strength, or teleportation, or quills. And comics carry a lot of appeal to the gay community, and just about anyone who can relate to having a secret identity at one point or another. A lot of talk about gay superheroes revolves around the questionable relationship between Batman and Robin, which has been relentlessly poked fun at, but actually drew a lot of serious criticism during the 50s, when really the gayest thing about Batman isn't his possible pederastiness, but his occasional wardrobe choices. Schumacher didn't help. Homosexuality was a pretty taboo topic in comics until fairly recently, thanks to something called the Comics Code Authority, sort of an unofficial rating system which restricted comic book content throughout much of the mid-20th century. It eventually lost relevance and popularity, but the code didn't allow reference to homosexuality until as late as 1989. One of the first openly gay mainstream comic heroes was Marvel's Northstar, who eventually became one of the X-Men, and whose sexuality was only hinted at before the Comics Code lifted their gay ban. Northstar officially came out in the highly publicized Alpha Flight number 106. There's a surreal sort of disconnect between plot and dialogue in this particular issue. After encountering the deranged Major Maple Leaf and foiling his devious master plan to kill a baby, Northstar gets into an epic city-destroying fistfight while simultaneously engaging in a fairly articulate conversation about the media's depiction of the AIDS crisis. Wait a minute. Barely ambiguous sexuality, hard-hitting political discussions, silver hair. Northstar is Anderson Cooper! Northstar is just one of several gay X-Men, including an alternate version of Colossus, who has the power to turn into metal and make me want to work out more. Much of the X-Men series is a pretty clear allegory of prejudice in general, but you can really see parallels to homophobia in particular. You've got ordinary people suddenly discovering that they're quote-unquote different, usually right around puberty, and are forced to live in a society that fears them and encourages them to keep their true nature a secret, or maybe even convert themselves to the status quo. This is especially evident in the second movie.
Why not stay in disguise all the time? You know? Look like everyone else.
Because we shouldn't have to.
Ollie, have you tried not being a mutant?
Gay superheroes have become increasingly common in recent years. For example, the comic version of John Constantine is actually bisexual, and Perry Moore's novel Hero features a young mutant dealing with both villains and homophobia, and for a while the book was even in talks to be adapted to TV. Then there's Wiccan and Hulkling of the Young Avengers, who are young analogs of Thor and the Hulk, Midnighter and Apollo of the Authority, who are married analogs of Batman and Superman, X-Force's Fat and Vivisector, who are analogs of Eminem and a werewolf, and the Rawhide Kid, who has the power of thinly disguised innuendo and being sort of offensive. Comics aren't quite as mainstream as they used to be, but we've taken steps to show that gay people can be just as heroic as anyone else. Especially when they can do this. Form of closing graphics.